Kimberly.
Hi.
How are you? I
Good,
see
how
you
are
have
you?
your baby here.
I do. This is Miss Selena.
Hello, Miss Selena. And what can I do for you today?
Well, I think I may want a doula.
Okay.
I'm kind of not really sure what that means.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, excuse you. To be honest with you, my first birth was not exactly what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And, having never gone through it, I didn't really know what I wanted, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
And some friends had suggested a doula, and I really didn't know what that was, and so I went online, and that's how I found you.
Okay.
Through the Kappa and donor websites.
Okay. Okay.
But at first, when they were telling me what a doula was, I thought it was like crunchy granola, have to have my baby in a field,
Yeah.
and we're not really looking to do that.
Right.
I'd be more apt to have a baby at home, but my husband, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So he's not there. So I called you,
Okay.
and you came recommended, and wanted to
Okay.
hear about you and what you can do and how you can help.
Great. Well, I'm a modern doula. No granola here.
Okay.
Our company is called Accessible Doula Services, and what we do is we provide services to mothers, quality professional doula services, and we do it based on your ability to pay,
Okay.
not necessarily on any kind of fee, set fee, but it's on a sliding scale fee.
Okay.
But the point is not really how much it costs, the point is what we offer.
Okay.
And what we offer is continuous emotional, physical, spiritual support before, during, and immediately after your birth. The most important thing of our work is to advocate for you. We are there to be your support system.
You're not going to replace my husband, right? Because he thinks that you might be kicking him out. And
You know, that's like the number one answer. The number one question that we get from just about every single one of our couples. And a lot of times I like to interview the father along with the mother so that he has a chance to ask all of our questions. But I understand we couldn't do that this time.
Right. Well, like I said before, I'm limited to about a half hour for this meeting, and then we can do the in-depth whatever
Absolutely.
with my husband.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, when your husband does come here, what I'm going to be telling him is that our whole purpose is really to support him as well as to support you. Yes, a lot of the focus is on the mother because she's the one in labor and she's the one going through the experience, but the father is going through the experience as well. He is
Okay.
having the experience of becoming a father again,
Right.
having the experience of seeing the woman that he loves in pain and in struggling and having all these problems.
And my husband, for the first one, I mean, he was awesome. He was there. He was supportive. I fell in love with him all over again. But he only knows what he knows.
Exactly.
And he could only do what he knew what to do.
Exactly.
We kind of felt like if we knew more what to do, we would have done it. But
Right.
and originally, the midwife we had said, "Oh, I'll be there. I'm not a doctor. I'm a midwife. I'll support you. The nurses can help you, even with lactation and breastfeeding, all that. Oh, we're there. We'll help you." Well, they had other patients. I mean, reality is they had other patients, and we were left on our own.
Absolutely.
So I don't want that to happen again. That's why
Absolutely.
I was kind of looking for you.
And one of the things for a doula that we emphasize is the fact that we are continuous support. So we don't have any other patients. We don't have to
Okay.
check the charts. We don't have to write any forms out. We are there with you from beginning to the end.
So you won't have anybody else that you're dueling, or
When
that's
we
the word?
sign your contract, in order for us to work together, my contract states that I will not take any other clients without your explicit permission.
Okay.
So, for example, if
Wow.
I do have another client who comes up around your same due date, I would still be your primary doula, meaning that if she happened to go into labor before you did, my backup would take her.
Okay, so I wouldn't lose you.
No,
if,
you
okay.
would not lose me.
Because I also, even looking on the internet, you see all these other doulas, all this other information, but it's so intimate.
Right.
We both need to get a feel for you.
Exactly.
Like, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So, and we need to pause. Okay, so now that we're back,
We're back.
She's changed and happy, as you can hear.
Changed and dry.
That's
I
right.
can hear that.
Right.
And while we were away, I went ahead and got some materials
Okay.
that I usually give my clients. This is our business card and our brochure.
Okay.
And there's usually an actual interview questionnaire that I fill out, but I prefer to do that when your husband is here.
Oh, okay. Do you want us to take those and look at all the stuff, or just wait?
We'll wait.
Okay.
We'll wait. A lot of the stuff I'm kind of asking you now, but that's okay because we get to know each other.
Okay, great.
So that'll still
I'm just
work.
going to put this down
Sure.
here.
You can just put that down there. I was telling you before Miss Selena decided to give us a natural break there, that one of the main points about having a doula is the fact that it's continuous support.
Okay.
And you won't have to worry about us switching shifts. You don't have to worry about
So
us.
if it's long, because my
We
first
stay
was
there as
about 18
long.
hours. So.
18 hours actually is average.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you'll be with me.
the entire time.
Okay. Now, what happens? Am I talking to you beforehand, like during the pregnancy? Are you helping? Are you doing anything?
One of the things that we would do is we would have a prenatal meeting.
Okay.
That prenatal involves basically what we're going to do, what our plan is going to be for the birth. I really want to get a full sense of what kind of birth you and your husband would like, the type of experience you want, what you want to avoid.
Okay.
Since you're a second-time mom, you know exactly what you don't want.
Right.
So we go over that, and we develop what our plan's going to be in order to make that happen.
Okay.
Now, of course, I can't guarantee your birth outcome. Nobody can do that, but we can plan. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to plan.
Okay. Okay.
I'll also go over with you some of the massage techniques that I'll be using with you. So that you get, yeah, very good, very good.
Massage is good.
So you get used to the touch because
Okay.
it's going to be a lot of touching, a lot of physical work is going to be happening. There are back massages, foot massages, neck massages, hand massages, all kinds of massages that I usually do. I'll also be showing them to your husband
Okay.
so that he can learn
Okay.
how to do them as well.
Okay. So, when labor starts, I don't want to go to the I want to avoid the hospital as long as I can. Do you help
Absolutely.
us do that?
Absolutely.
Or-
Normally at the prenatal, we go over that as well. We'll talk about what we're going to do when you go into labor. First of all, the minute you believe you are in labor, you call me.
Okay.
Even if it's just like, ooh, you call me.
2 in the morning?
2 in the morning,
Okay.
1:30 in the morning, I really, it doesn't matter. My phone out 2 weeks before your estimated due date and 2 weeks after your estimated due date, I am on call for you 24/7.
Okay.
Continuous.
Okay.
Phone, email, fax, pigeon, whatever you want
Okay.
to use. I'm there for you. And even before your 2-week window, I'm still available. You can
Okay.
call me for any questions that you have. Perhaps you've gone to the doctor.
Do you go to the doctor with me or no?
If you want me to, I can attend a doctor's appointment with you. Normally I do not. But if there's something that you kind of feel you need a little bit of extra support with, you feel as if, okay, I'm trying to get this doctor to understand this is what I want and I'm not really getting the words out right, I can certainly come and support you with that.
Now, do you find that the doctors like having you there or don't like having you there?
Well, it's been about 50-50
Okay.
is what I'd have to say. Some of your more experienced, old school is the word I'd like to use, doctors. You know, they're not really into that other person trying to kind of come in on my territory. But then there are other doctors
Now-
that are even the old school ones who appreciate the fact that I'm glad that she's going to have someone who's going to help her to be comfortable. And that's the point.
Okay. Do you find, though, even if it's an old school doctor, because, you know, there's all different doctors in my practice, I don't know who I'm going to have. Or even midwife. There's a whole bunch of midwives. That's one reason I want a doula, to
Right.
have at least one person
Okay.
that's constant.
Exactly.
So do you find the people who tend to be more old school, afterward, have you, like, they find they do like having you there, or they still have issues?
I'll be honest with you. The majority of our work is during the labor. The doctor is normally not there. The doctor is usually arriving just when the baby is born.
Okay.
He delivers the
Okay.
baby.
What about the nurses?
The nurses, from what I've experienced, appreciate us. They may feel a little bit uncomfortable at first, but once they realize once again, wow, she has this continuous support, and they're not getting in our way, they're not trying to take over our job, they're just basically there supporting us as well. This is what we do. We support the entire birth team.
Okay. So they
So
can end up using you or
They end up-
helping.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I won't be going to another one of their
'Cause-
mothers, but
right. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. I mean, that's one of the, some of the hospital staff we found have attitudes, especially anytime I asked a question or why are you doing what you're doing, they kind of just wanted us to hush and not answer things. I wasn't real sure on what was going on, and I just don't want to feel that way again.
You know, one of the really good things about doula is the fact that we're experienced and we know the type of questions that are normally asked by mothers. We can ask the question in that just the right way so that it can get them to open up that door and say, oh, okay, this is what's going on.
Okay.
A lot of times you're just not asking the right question, not because there's anything wrong with you, but just because you don't have that experience to know the question to give them.
Okay.
And a lot of times they try to anticipate what your questions are because they've been doing it for so long. How many babies are born in the hospital
Right,
every single
right.
day? They try to anticipate your questions and not realizing that you might be going down a different road. So
Okay.
because you and I are in communication, I may know more where you're coming from and be able to ask that specific question and get the answer that you need.
Okay. Now, medications.
Okay.
Okay. Like I found the hospital kept wanting me to just take medicine. It's like it would just be easier for them if I would just take some drugs. I don't want to. I mean, they're there if it's needed, but I don't want an epidural. I don't
Right.
want to. I just want to see what my body can do,
Right.
but have it there if it's needed, kind
Right.
of thing. So, are you not going to let me get medicine if I need it, or?
Here's how it works. It's your birth.
Okay.
It's your birth experience, and it's what you want to happen. I am only there to give you the information so that you can make the informed choice as to what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And there's always the next best thing. So perhaps you started off saying, I don't want any medication, don't offer me anything, I'm through. But as the labor goes on, it gets a little bit too hard, and you need some intervention. And that's why medication is there. Thank God for medical intervention, because in the past we'd have mothers who would die in childbirth, or babies that would be born deformed. We don't have that happening as much because we do have the interventions in place. However, let's not get so far into the intervention that we forget that birth itself is natural, and it has a natural process that needs to be followed. The hospitals, yes, would tend to offer you the medication because most mothers want it, because they're not informed. That's why they ask for it. If you are in pain and no one's helping you and you have no support, of course you want to stop being in pain. But if you have support and you have someone explaining to you what's going on, why it's going on, and the fact that it's not going to last much longer, you can stand it.
So you might help me through it. I
I
won't
would
need
help
anything.
you through it,
Okay.
exactly. And
Okay.
if it comes to the point where you do need it, then absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I would encourage you to get it if that's what you need.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What other questions?
I think a lot of stuff, like I said, we'll have to go over with my husband, because
Right.
his biggest fear is
Right.
you're going to replace him.
Mhm.
And he is very hands-on
Mm-hmm.
and very involved.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was more, we only could do what we
Right.
knew.
Right.
And we thought, because the midwife said they'd be there,
Right,
and then they weren't.
right.
Whether it was paperwork or other moms having babies or whatever the reason,
Right.
we just kind of on our own trying to do things, and I guess just looking for the guidance
Mhm.
is the biggest thing.
Mhm. I often tell my husbands, the husband, not my husband, but the husbands that I interview, and I give them a very simple scenario. I can't replace you because you are, first of all, a husband, a father, a lover, a companion, a best friend. I'm not any of those things. I'm your doula.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there are things that you and him are going to be able to experience, to simply look in each other's eyes and know what's going on, that I can't replace. And I
Okay.
never could, and I wouldn't want to either. My goal is to allow both of you to experience that birth the very best way that you can, empowered and informed.
Okay. All right. Is there anything that I should be doing now? You know, anything different that helps get ready, or?
A lot of times I tell my mothers to get into the habit of moving.
Okay.
Movement is very important in labor. A lot of our hospitals will have you laying in the bed, and they don't want you to move out of the bed.
It hurt.
And
When I was in bed,
does.
it hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was why it hurt.
It could have been. It could have been, and a lot of it may have been a liability issue as to why they don't want you moving around too much. Because imagine this: you're moving around in the hospital and just doing all these things, and then you end up hurting yourself in some way. Whereas if you have a support person there, someone who's going to be able to watch you and make sure that you're steady at all times, then it would be a lot easier for them to allow you to do the things that you do.
Okay.
And again, that's what we're there for. We were talking about before what would happen and when it's time to go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you how I come to your home.
Mm-hmm.
The minute that you tell me, I think I'm in labor, I don't know, I think I'm in labor, I'm going to give you some specific instructions to do
Okay.
that is going to help me to also determine whether you truly are in labor.
Okay.
Now, I am a non-medical professional, meaning that I do not do any clinical exams. I will not be doing any vaginal exams, nothing like that.
Okay.
A lot of my information is coming from you, and it's coming from what I know about mothers who are in
okay.
labor. A lot of it is just basically intrinsic. Some of it is intrinsic, and just my past experience with mothers. The patterns kind of go in a very specific way, and it helps me to know where you are and what you're doing.
Okay.
So once I get the feeling that you definitely are in labor, I do come to your home, and we will stay at your home as long as we can,
Okay.
basically. I'm not going to let you stay to the point where we're giving birth
Okay.
because I don't do clinical tasks. So I'm going to
But
get
you
to the
do
hospital.
home birth, like if I was doing
If you
home
had a
birth,
midwife.
you could. Okay, gotcha.
Only with a midwife,
Okay.
because I am not a clinical professional.
Okay, gotcha.
So you would have to have a midwife who's willing to come to your home and birth the baby.
Okay, okay. Are there any books or things that I should read, or my husband should read, or to prepare?
You know, it's kind of, sometimes a lot of information that's out there is information that you need to take with a grain of salt. We can talk more about specific books later
Okay.
on. A lot of times what I like to do is I like to see what books you are reading. Tell me about them. Let me look into them as well, and then I can give you my opinion
Okay.
on how I think they would work and what may be missing or what may not be missing, and, you know, things such as that. Books are always good. The more information you have, the better, but sometimes when it comes to birth, sometimes too much information hinders you.
Okay, well, what about, so then you wouldn't want us to take a childbirth class, or
Absolutely.
don't, or do?
I absolutely want you to
Want
take
us to.
a childbirth class.
Okay.
And if you can, it would be a good idea to not take a hospital-based childbirth class.
Okay,
Only because the hospital is working with the hospital. If you take an independent childbirth class, such as perhaps Lamaze or something to that effect, one that focuses on normal birth is your point. That's what you're looking for, normal birth.
okay,
You can get just the same amount of information and maybe a little bit more in depth at
Okay.
times as well. So a childbirth class actually is very important. What we do at the prenatal usually supplements what you've already learned at the childbirth class.
okay. And also, I think, or I don't remember if you were telling me or somebody was saying that you could also help me with breastfeeding.
Yes.
Because I know in the hospital, you know, again, the first time they said the nurses will help you, the midwives will help you, but the nurses are trained. Well, none of the nurses knew what the heck they were doing and kept saying, we'll call lactation, and lactation never came.
Okay.
So do you help with that?
I am trained in lactation education, meaning
Okay.
that I can help you establish initial breastfeeding.
Okay.
Anything that goes beyond any kind of problems with breastfeeding, I can then refer you to a lactation consultant.
Oh, you have people that you can refer
I do
me
have
to.
people
Oh,
that I
okay.
can refer you to. But then also at the hospital, again, I'm your support person at the hospital. So while you are now basking in the glow of being a new mother again, I'm going to work to get that lactation person
Oh,
to your
good.
room.
Okay. That's good. Okay. I think everything else I'll hold from when my husband comes. And
Great. It was wonderful meeting
You
you.
too. You
And it's
too.
great to meet you, Miss Selena, with your new pink outfit.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
better now.
You're beautiful. Do you know what you're having?
A baby.
Okay.
We don't find out.
You like the surprise.
We like the surprise.
Absolutely. You gotta
So-
love those. You gotta love those. Well,
Yeah.
great. I look
Okay.
forward to meeting you and your husband.
Great. Thanks so much.
Sure.